weapon, which is his wizard staff. And he uses it in most of his normal attacks. And he is definitely now much less of a physical fighter than he ever has been before. He is a very powerful mage, and he uses it in most of his attacks. There's a couple normals I really wanted to talk about. Like, you can see even his sweep. Instead of using his foot, he literally uses his water staff. This is definitely
I love the kick up.
It's so good.
And you'll notice the water leaves the top, gets in there, and then comes back to the top.
Right. I absolutely love it. So let's start off with a couple normals I really wanted to show. His forward 2, 1, 3 is just like really good range mid, pretty quick. He's also got forward 3, which is an overhead, into a double overhead, and he gets a pop-up. That'll be one of his most important, I think. And then one other normal I really wanted to show was a standing 4, which, even though he's no longer a ninja, he still has tremendous leg strength.
Right.
So strong that he can actually kick you across the world. Now this is an interesting one, because if you hold it, he gets a combo. And he can also cancel out of the hold to fake you out.
Okay.
There you go. See, I'm good. And let's check out his throw, which is a nice nod to the classic water bubble. He goes in with you, and then you burst out. So you can see his normal attacks are very fresh and different. And I think the water effects are awesome. So you want to go into his special moves?
I think so.
So he has some really interesting zoning tools. I mean, some might even call him a premier zoner. And let's start with his straight projectile, which takes up a ton of real estate, is fairly quick, and has some interesting ways that you can change it. If you EX it, he gets a full knockdown. He can actually hold it down and get a stagger. And you can actually cancel out of this hold down. So you can mix up doing the move,
Yeah.
doing different timings, doing the EX, or canceling out of it. Keep the opponent guessing. When you have a projectile like that takes up a ton of space, what's the one thing you know the opponent's going to try to do to beat it?
Jump?
Jump. And that's not going to be super effective because he has an anti-air version. And this has a very neat EX that actually allows him to pop up for combos.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's pretty cool. Again, it makes a full screen projectile become kind of an offensive tool up close. Now, one thing would be, well, what happens if they're using projectiles against him? And he has a water bubble where he surrounds himself in water, and any projectile is going to be negated. It'll actually just be destroyed when it hits the water bubble. And this is something that he can set up, go behind, go in the middle of.
Works as a shield.
Exactly. But if you EX it, it surrounds him and travels with him.
Kind of walk him down.
Exactly. So then you can go in, do his lows, do his overhead, all that good stuff when he has the water shield on.
Gotcha.
Now, there's other ways you can get in. He could set these water portals, and he can set them anywhere he wants. And then he can actually warp through them. So you could do cool stuff, like set one here, go in, when you want to get out, warp back to where you were. Or, when you're in, you can set one, do some fun zoning, and then use this to get back in.
Okay.
And then you can go straight into combos, fun stuff like that. Now, once you've established that you're willing to teleport or throw out some of these fireballs, and the opponent's scared to move, you can start using the whirlpool. And he has close, medium, and far. These will go on the ground, and if the opponent walks into it, they get popped up for combos.
I love how he just grabs the top of his staff and
Yes,
throws it down.
it is
really
so cool looking. Another move he has is his geyser. This is a pretty good advancing special. He gets 2 and 1 into, and if he EX it, it has armor. So it's a good wake-up attack, a good way to beat pressure, and I think it'll be one of his best combo enders. And then lastly, one more awesome full range move that kind of shows the full extent of his power.
Oh. So cool.
And this is a move that he can actually hold, or cancel and just drop down. So you can do stuff like you're doing your water ball, and what's called a fireball, and it's literally the opposite of that.